that's a tremendous looking trophy.
Welcome to the number one PlayStation
Dylan?
podcast in the Oceanics. I'm your host, Dylan Blight, and joining me today is Ciaran Marchett, who's just trying to speak all over the fucking me.
Well, you deserve it, you know?
Why?
You shut me down. I'm just trying to get a singing career out of this podcast, and you're killing
People will be happy to know that there was like several episodes where it was like Will's getting along really, really well, and we did like a couple episodes where it was just the two of us, and it was fine. This episode's off to the usual system of me just like death staring you before just starting the podcast, so things are back to normal.
It's because Nick's here. I can't be, you know, I've got to hang out with the cool kids, not with the nerd Dylan. Fucking little nerd.
What
fucking
the fuck?
podcast host? Who even hosts a podcast?
Literally everyone who hosts a podcast. Yeah, joining us also today, Nicholas Pryor.
It's very awkward being in between these two right now.
Why?
This is just the venomance between you two.
He just doesn't like his parents fighting, you know?
How the fuck
okay.
are we his parents?
It's okay, Nick. 2 lots of Christmas presents and 2
We're the
lots of
two
birthday
youngest people on the Explosion Network.
I don't
What
think
up,
you've heard
Dad?
of time travel.
I'm proud of bearing that as a child. I don't know where the fucking beard genetics came from though.
My pubic region. My asshole.
Oh, no, we're good.
This is a PlayStation podcast.
You can see how one would be mistaken about that.
I don't even play video games anymore.
I do. I play one.
Yeah, you play one.
You play one video game. Good on you, Nick.
All right, let's jump into video game speak. The things, the buttons and the mouses and the keyboards and the controller systems and the video game. Firstly, want to give a shout out to something I know Ciaran was watching a bit of over the last week or so. Games Done Quick raised a record amount of money this is US money, so I don't know what US this is in like real
Australian,
money.
it's like 2.6.
It was $2.263 million.
Yeah, it's 2.6 Australian.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, 2.6 Australian. I read this morning.
2.6 real dollaroo dues. That's a whole lot of bunch of money. Now, for people who don't know what Games Done Quick is, it's back on in July or June. One of those.
It'll be middle of the year. Normally it's somewhere
Yes,
around
it's
there.
like the middle of the year. If you've never heard of it, you're going to pitch it to them now, Ciaran. You're going to pitch the people why you should be tuning into. Because we talked about this a couple of months back, like just randomly off air. It was like, oh yeah, when Games Done Quick is on, it's just like a good thing to have on in the background, blah, 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 blah. What is it? Because I know to a lot of people before I started watching it, the idea of speed running sounded boring as all fuck. I'm like, why do I want to watch someone break a game? It just sounds like they're ruining it for me.
It's amazing as all fuck. It's this whole week of events, so it is non-stop for an entire week. No matter what time you turn the stream on during that week, there will be somebody running some game. And the people that it's incredible. Just even the thought of how this person picked this game to speedrun is mind-boggling. Some of the most random stuff starts getting speedrun. I watched, just down to the little things like, watching somebody complete Arkham Asylum in like an hour and 50 minutes. Like, where they were doing things like, to skip cutscenes, somebody worked out if you used a wall for cover, threw a batarang and exploded gel at the same time, you would flip out of the map and then fall into the next section. And I don't know how anybody would have figured that out, looking at code or something. And it's just a range of games. There's going to be games you've heard about, games you've never seen, new games, old games. There's people racing Mega Mans. Like, there's people racing the different Mega Mans all playing at the same time, showing you the little, the minor details of how to jump it. My favourite I watched was somebody speedrun Resident Evil 7, and that was down to a fine art. That was like, if I shoot at this section here and shoot through those floorboards, I'll be able to kill the boss, even before she spawns. And it's just ridiculous, the fine art that these people know what's going on. And even stuff they change it for, they do lots of stuff for charity. Like they did Metal Gear Solid run, and there was a charity thing that ran the entire day beforehand if it was to save Ocelot or save Meryl. And it got the stream involved, and it's a fantastic couple of days to raise some money towards cancer prevention.
Yeah. Hashtag fuck cancer. And it was funny, like, the amount of money people spend on, like, the most random shit, too. The last run they did was Breath of the Wild. And, like, $70,000 or something ridiculous like that was just donated towards naming the horse.
Yep.
Like, why?
Even just the
But
minor
doesn't
stuff,
matter.
like the Resident Evil 7 runner that I watched, he donated, I think it was something like $10 every time he got hit by a creature. Or
Oh,
he
really?
died.
Did he do it in
and I
VR?
think he only ended up paying, because I think it was $50 if he died, so he paid all up like $250, and that was it.
No, it wasn't in VR. It was normal.
No, he said he could have done it in VR, they just didn't have the setup for it ready.
Okay.
At Gameston Quick, but he says if he could have done the same. He was saying he could have done the same speed run in VR.
I reckon if they did have VR there, even then it would be VR would be like a stretch goal.
Yeah, I think he
For
said
it, like,
that. I think he
yeah.
said the VR was going to be a stretch goal. He just didn't have time to get it set up and get the stretch goal in. It's a big the amount of organization that goes into the event is like crazy. Like even just they're down to a fine art in changing games and stuff.
I know.
Like,
Just think about our extra live stream.
yeah,
How
it's a
small
7-day
scale that
stream.
was for 24 hours, but switching between 3 different video game consoles caused a major headache, and then like blah 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 blah. They're switching between like anything from a Nintendo 64 to a PC to a PS4, and it just fluent constantly. Never, and they've got like the game screen. They've got the like 3 different people with mics on in the background on the couch, whatever else. Like it's
Was it all in the
and
one
just
location?
runs.
Yeah,
Hey?
yeah, it's all in the one place.
location.
It's
Okay.
all in the one place for the entire week. They literally, generally, it's the person playing the game, and then 3 people on the couch. So often, if it depends on the person playing the game, sometimes they talk a lot. Sometimes the people on the couch are explaining what they do. There was different, Mario 3D World I watched, and that game was crazy to speedrun. Just like the amount of, even just down to the fine art of they wouldn't take any pipes to the next section. They would use a catsuit to climb up the pipe because it's quicker and it saves like 3 seconds or something, and it all kind of builds up to time saving.
It's the same as games like Oblivion and stuff, or was it Oblivion? It's like those sorts of games where people just run backwards, or like a lot of first person.
Yeah,
games,
where they
'cause it
worked
just-
out. There was another, like a Half-Life. I don't think it's actual Half-Life. I think it's like a secondary game that comes with Half-Life, where you could shoot backwards with an LMG and it would just like send you flying.
Okay.
So there was a way to get an LMG like really early in the game, and you use it to fly across vents and stuff quicker.
But yeah, Game Design's Quick's great. I know. I've just in the past week, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter and stuff like that not aware of it, and I'm like, it's into its 9th year, so I was like, just take a moment at the start of this week's episode to be like, hey, it's a thing, and you should probably check it out if you could, because it's a lot of fun. It's not like you need to be into one specific game either. So like, I don't like watching, but it's just like I'll play literally fucking anything, and it's just fun, and you don't need to donate, blah blah blah. Game's done quick. All right. DICE Award nominations were dropped this week. I don't know if Nick's seen them. It's a whole bunch of bad news for you, Nick.
There's no talk.
Oh,
whole
actually,
bunch.
no. I saw Horizon has the most noms ever. Or something
Horizon
like that.
has the most awards. Horizon has been nominated for Outstanding Achievement in Animation, Art Direction, Character, Original Music Composition, Story, Technical Achievement. Also been nominated for Adventure Game of the Year, Outstanding Achievement in Game Design, Game Direction, and been nominated for Game of the Year. Now, by now, listeners, you should have hopefully seen or read our Game of the Year fucking shubala. I didn't have Horizon in my personal top 10.
Neither
Nick
did I.
didn't have Horizon in his personal top 10. Horizon is, I would say, the Explosion Network's crux of... And you may think it's the Batman Telltale thing. No.
That was a different argument.
That's a different argument.
was a different argument.
It's Horizon. There's a very high majority of people love Horizon. I like Horizon. great game. I don't think it's the amazing achievement that everyone else makes it out to be. I think it's a great game, but I don't think it's...
I'm of the same opinion.
Well, I want you to expand, because you've never had. You're always out here shitting on Horizon. Been nominated for 7 DICE Awards. It's been winning all sorts of games awards, left, right, and centre. What is it? Or isn't?
First comes down to story. It is an average story at best. The best thing about the story is the pre-fall stuff, finding out about that, but the whole tribal stuff and dealing with Silas and all that kind of stuff just bored me to tears. The traversal of the game just made me want to shoot myself. Trying to find somewhere to climb up a ledge was painful.
Can I jump in for a second, Nick? I want to ask this for the audience, because this will be rebuttal. You played this before. Did you even play Zelda? Did you play Zelda?
I played it before Zelda.
You played it before Zelda? Cool.
Yeah.
So this is your thoughts pre-Zelda.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people crap on this if you say you played Zelda before it. Because they're like,
no. I played this before Zelda.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's just... I can remember this one specific plateau on like the bottom left of the map, and you had to get up there to get some sort of collectible. And I ran around that thing like 5 times trying to find somewhere to climb up it. It was an exercise in frustration. I enjoyed the combat, and all the other stuff with it was fine. But in my opinion, it doesn't do anything better than other open world games haven't done before it. Open world RPGs haven't done before it. Like, I'm not saying it... I enjoyed my time with it. I think it's a great game, but I don't think it's... Especially in this year, it is not Game of the Year compared to other ones. If it was another year, yeah, it could very well be Game of the Year, but just not in last particular year.
Mm-hmm. My favourite things about it are the art, because it's probably
the
one of the
art
best
style was
PS4
great.
games. Just the art style and direction and all that sort of stuff. And the combat's also great. Like, just the general...
Yeah.
This water's good against fire. Well, it's not that simple, but like that kind of stuff.
It reminded me very much of like Freedom Wars or Monster Hunter, that type of take down parts of the monster and target specific things and all that kind of stuff.
I agree about the climbing. I remember the exact same story happening to me several times over. Like, collectible here.
Yep.
Here is the mountain I need to climb. Let me walk around looking for where I climb. Oh, I'm back to where I fucking started walking around this thing.
Yep.
I just spent 10 minutes walking in the giant circle, and I still don't know where to see... Oh, it's over there, I think. And then let me just... Nope, that's not it. Let me just try jumping every centimetre around the base of this.
So I honestly think they would have been better if they implemented like an Assassin's Creed type style climbing, where instead of specific handholds, it would just grab like parts to climb up. Yeah.
I agree.
Or just, be Zelda and just be like, you can climb anything. Okay, go. Do it.
I suppose the problem with that is then they have to design the whole
Yeah,
world that way.
it's different because Zelda, if you climb a mountain, it's just basically you're climbing a flat texture and you're Spider-Man up the wall. Whereas this, it's all like textured and like different outcroppings.
Assassin's Creed, you can't climb everything.
No,
but
but you
anything
can climb
that you
most
should be able
things.
to reach. Anything that has something on the top of it that you should be able to reach. If you just like start running up the side of it, like the games these days, Assassin's Creed, there will always be something they grab onto. I remember the earlier ones would be like they'll try and fuck with you just for the sake of it, make
it'd be like a puzzle
one
or
side
something
of
like
it.
that.
The only side you could climb up, number 3. These days, it's just like all 4 sides of this thing have something you can grab onto because you don't need to spend time fucking around with that anymore. This isn't a puzzle. Like, that's not a puzzle. They're like, oh, here's the puzzle. Figure out which side you want to climb up. Fuck off. Talking about Assassin's Creed, I'm excited, guys.
You're excited?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Assassin's Creed Rogue is coming. This is the only... I kept complaining. I know I complain a lot. Half the time they announce these damn remasters and re-releases for like PS3 games to PS4 games, I'm like, ugh, who wants that shit? Like, remember when they ported... what's that fucking like Hong Kong Mafia? Like, what the fuck's that called?
Yakuza?
Sleeping Dogs.
Yakuza?
Sleeping Dogs, I was like,
Oh,
why?
Sleeping Dogs, okay.
This is weird. That's just like a random... Even with Darksiders, I was like, okay. Like, I know you're making another one, but still that's just like...
There's
okay,
I think Darksiders has a legit cult following, though. Like,
I suppose.
there is a group of people that does want Darksiders. I don't know people who want to do Sleeping Dogs.
No, Sleeping Dogs is the like my go-to. Like, why?
Even
why
Tomb
was that a
Raider.
fucking thing?
Like
Well,
coming
Tomb
out
Raider
like
was just
less than
like-
12 months previous.
Yeah, it's just even. Yeah, no, it's just weird. But this one makes sense because if you were like me, you got your PS4, you got your Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and you were like, why? And you've unplugged your PS3 to do this, and then. When was it? Like 2 weeks later or 2 weeks before? Something ridiculous.
It was around the same time. It was within.
Yes, it was like super,
within.
super, super close. They released Rogue, and it was like, well, I just got this brand new shiny console. Why would I want to go back and play my PS3 when I've got this shiny new console? And what, like, I just unplugged my PS3 for a sec. So no, I don't. As much as I really wanted to play Rogue, which I did because it sounded cool because you're playing as bad guy, etc., etc. Ship stuff in it again. Sounded really cool, but it's just like I'm not plugging in my PS3. And then I thought, like, maybe 6 months down the track, I'll plug my Never happened, of course. One of those things. So they announced it's coming out on March 20th. All the DLC, 2 new bonus missions. They didn't say a price point. I'm going to assume it's like $50, $55, something like that. Great. Perfect. Can't wait to play it. Opinions.
My thing was with the game that was when I originally saw it and Black Flag came out, I was like, oh, that's like the the half-assed version of like a half-assed thing they've done for the 360 and the PS3 because they can't run Black Flag. That's totally okay, sure. Because there was that thing with
Black Flag was on
it.
PS3.
Was
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
I did not know.
I bought the PS3 version and you got like a free upgrade to the PS4
Upgrade, yeah.
version.
Okay. Well, in my head, that's how I saw it. I was wrong, but and then everybody who's played that game is like, this game's awesome. This story is awesome. Like, people need to play this, and it's like, give it to me on next gen, please.
I think it works out you're playing as like the descendant of like the person from number 3 or
Yeah,
something
that's
like
what I-
that.
So
Does.
you play, but the story in Rogue is the opposite to every other story. You go from starting out as assassin and you go backwards into a crusader,
Devolving into a pirate.
No, not into a pirate. You
To
become a
bad
Templar.
guy, Templar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was highly intrigued.
Didn't-
It was always...
Didn't
In
Rogue
fact,
come...
the story...
Sorry.
The story always sounded like from the, if you looked at the synopsis for like Black Flag versus Rogue, I was always like, the story of Rogue sounds more interesting than Black Flag.
And it's got an Irish protagonist, and that makes me like, yep, I want that. Give it to me,
Yes.
please.
What was it, Nick?
Well, did it come out at the same time as Unity? I'm pretty sure it came out like within a few weeks of each other. Like Unity was the next gen one, Rogue was the previous gen one.
Because I remember
one
it
of them.
being like that.
Because I can understand from a business perspective why they did it, to drive sales for the new one. But yeah, I mean, all your whinging's paid off, and now you're getting it.
I did no verbal...
No
public
verbal whinging. It was just
Ubisoft probed your
you,
brain and said, "Dylan wants this on next gen. Let's give it to him."
no, Ubisoft. You know that anonymous hate mail you've been receiving? Yeah, it's going to stop now. But you've just stopped it because of one Dylan Blight. Ignore the Tasmanian Post stamps on it.
Yeah, with Unity.
It was with Unity, so it was the. So that was the. Yeah, so I was right. I was just thinking about it.
Yeah, they come out on the same day.
Yeah,
So
'cause they
stupid.
didn't do Unity, except for Unity was a piece of trash.
Yeah, apparently it was
So
marred by bugs and everything.
I pre-ordered Unity day one because I'm like at the stage where I swear I just have to keep pre-ordering them for the fucking statues with them all, because I've just got all of them bar one and or like the one for 2, I think.
Yes,
and it's just
Assassin's
like
Creed
I'm fucked. Yeah, I'm fucked now. I just have to keep pre-ordering these fucking Assassin's Creed games for these figures now. But I got Unity day one, read all the reviews, saw the stupid gyps, was like, you know what? I can wait. Like, I've lost money to get this statue, quote unquote lost, but I'll pick up my pre-order and I'll wait a couple months to play it. And I waited a couple months until it got like into like version 1.50 something, like that many patches on top of it or whatever. And when I played it, I was like, not bad. Wasn't great. It's fine.
Wasn't it
broken
also
for me, though.
multiplayer, like co-op
you
multiplayer?
could co-op.
Something like
Yeah.
that?
You could.
Yeah.
Not the main story though. It was different stuff.
It
Wasn't
was
it? You could
different
co-op.
missions, yeah.
Also,
It's sad because it was a good setting. I would have got it in release, but it's time's passed for me.
two side notes. One, I hate Assassin's Creed Unity because it left such a bad taste in my mouth. I never played the next one, Syndicate, and Syndicate's set in my favorite time period.
Syndicate's amazing.
Syndicate's
is my
amazing. I need to go
second
back.
favourite
I
one.
just don't have the time. But it's set in my favorite time period, which annoys me because I had such a bad taste in my mouth.
Maybe Syndicate
And-
be one of your plat games.
It could.
It's an easy plot.
That could maybe. Yeah, that's
It
a
is an
thing.
easy
That
plot.
could be a thing.
It's a time-consuming one, but like,
Yeah, that could be a thing. But my other thing is, back to you and these statues. Isn't the story, if I remember rightly, because Assassin's Creed
Correctly.
Origins came out around PAX, and I remember you got your mum.
I was going
to
to cancel that.
You were going to cancel it, and you got your mum to go get you Mario Odyssey, and the
I got
EB
fucked.
Games person jibbed your mum into purchasing the freaking Assassin's Creed Origins statue.
Well, because I said to Mum, I'm like, can you go pick up while I'm at PAX? Can you just like, I sent her, I took a screenshot of my EB World card on my phone, sent her the picture of it, was like, just take this in, pick up my pre-order, thanks. I didn't say what pre-order because I didn't think it through. Sends me a message. I'm out for dinner. I think is when I got the message. It's like, hey, you owe me like $200 something. I'm like, what the fuck, Mario? It was not $200 something. She's like, I got 2 games. I'm like, and I thought about it for like 2 seconds. Was like, oh, I got myself Assassin's Creed Origins. Because I'm terrible. I'll like after E3, I'll just go into EB Games and just be like $10, $10, $10, $10, $10. Like here's $10 on all the games. Just like so, if a cool collector's edition comes out, it's like you've got that secured deposit chance to get the cool collector's edition.
Yeah.
But I was gonna cut off at Origins. I was like, I don't have the money. Like I'm going to Melbourne. You know, like don't get the Assassin's Creed Origins collector's edition. No, we'll just cut that one. We'll cut that one. No, got it. It's fine. I haven't played that much of that game. Played a bunch of Mario though.
It's fantastic. You should definitely play Origins. Origins.
Funny
is on my list to
story.
go back to.
I put my Black Flag statue with our Christmas nativity scene and made it look like he was going to cut up baby Jesus.
That's pretty good actually. I like that. It's good. That's a good use. Because in fact, the sign that I should have nearly got rid of it was the shelves where I had all the other ones had like 3 each on them. So it's like one shelf spot 3 fit perfectly. Spot below it 3 fit perfectly. I go to put in the Origins one. It's like I have to start a new cube spot for this. Like I could have just cancelled it, and it was like I would have never had to adjust anything. And instead, I got whatever. I don't even know the character's name. Fucking someone.
Oh, the Egyptian dude.
Yeah.
Boring
I know the
as fuck
bird's
character.
name. I don't
From
know
what
his
I've
name.
played, I'd rather a figure of the girl, his wife or whatever.
Yeah,
She's more
that's fair.
interesting.
She is.
SJW,
For reasons.
rabble.
No, there's reasons she's more interesting.
She's way cooler.
Yeah, she is a lot cooler.
She's badass.
I never got that far.
But that's no different than in Syndicate. They give you a figure of the dude.
Jacob.
The guy's fine. He's a fine character. However, he's just like he's like the brawn over brain. Like he's not the assassin of the two of them. And
He's just
the
gang
girl, his name's like Freya or Frasier.
Evie.
or
Isn't it Evie?
Evie
Oh,
Fry.
Evie,
Evie.
yes. I was like, why am I?
I thought it was Evie.
Jacob
It
and
is Evie. You're correct. As soon as you
Yeah.
said, you're right. So Evie, the way cooler character, once again, because she's like the proper
Assassin.
cool assassin chick. I would have rather a statue of her. They're both fine. I really enjoyed that game, by the way, because you just switch between them. It's like she has the assassin missions, and he has like the oi chaps. Let's just fucking go in and scrub them up, fucking guns.
He has the
and-
Peaky Blinders
like,
missions.
He's the gangs of New York
Yeah,
of that game.
he's the
and then
Peaky
she's
Blinder.
the assassin sort of stuff. And I don't know. Syndicate's great.
Yeah, I need to go back.
I
Marty,
think
we
a
gotta
lot
go
of people
back.
missed that because they fell off after
Yeah,
Unity.
I feel like that doesn't get the respect that it deserves because of Unity and how
Yes,
crap it was.
I agree.
What was that?
One more remaster was announced this week also. We got this Dark Souls remaster.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, on the
I like
Switch.
Nick's face then. He was like, what? He was like a dog. Like it was like a dog when he saw yeah. Like the little head turn. Dark Souls is coming Xbox, PS4, Switch, 25th of May. If you're on the non-Switch versions, your Pros or your Xbox X's or whatever, you got that 4K upscaling, beautiful pictures, all sorts of things going to be happening. But more importantly for these types of games, 60 frames per second. I'm not a big, like, oh, every game needs to run at 60 frames per second. Like, blah, blah, blah. I won't notice it in most of games. However, these sorts of games, yes.
I feel like Dark Souls, when it comes down to, sometimes it comes down to a pixel when you're about to get hit by something.
It is.
Yes.
There's whole Reddits dedicated to frames, how many frames it takes, your invincibility frames when you're rolling and everything like that.
That's what a lot of time, like going back to Games Done Quick, real quick. A lot of like the Mega Man games and stuff like that, they'll be like, oh yeah, because like when you fire a gun, like your animation lasts like 1 point such frames, and then like if you jump through this, like the jumping animation takes 0.5 frames, and then people like do all these maps and stuff like that's how they figure out. They're like, you do this animation, but if I do this, it takes this many frames. So, but he slows down when he's moving, so it costs me like 0.5 of a second. Blah 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 blah. It's like, oh my god, the fucking nerds. Fucking a whole bunch of nerds.
Nerds.
I'm looking forward to Dark Souls. I never played Dark Souls. The first Souls game I ever played was Bloodborne because the Dark Souls games never really interested me. I was just like, okay, Knight, dude, whatever, cool, I guess. And then you read about how hard they are, and like most people, you're just like, well, that doesn't sound like a whole bunch of fun at all. That just sounds like terrible nonsense I don't want to take part in at all. But after I jumped in on Bloodborne because that the themes of that more interesting to me. Played some of Dark Souls
3,
yes, and I didn't finish that, but I enjoyed what I played. I stopped playing for something else, and then I tried to play it again. I'm like, I've forgotten how to play this whole fucking game now. I'm fucked. But I'm interested to jump in on this because I just like these games, and I feel like it's an interesting thing that they're remastering it because I'm like, are they just remastering it for the sake of it, or because they don't have one coming out, or are they doing it for like an easy kind of cash grab to put towards their other projects? Like, because of course they put out that little teaser at the Game Awards, stuff like that. It's like, I don't know, I just find it interesting, especially since it's like all platforms, including Switch.
I think it's a thank you to fans in a lot of ways because, Dark Souls means a lot to a very large portion of the community, and I think it's a thank you to them for writing it out, and I think it's let's hope this tides you over until our new project comes out.
Could be, I suppose. It's one way to look at it. If it's a good remaster too, because it was originally, I mean, to see how big a difference it is, it was originally running at like barely 30 frames per second kind of situation, and running at 720p. Yeah. And now you've got upscaling 4K, 60 frames per second. Like, that's a good remaster when you can see the...
Oh, definitely, yeah.
The
it's been enough time, too.
Yeah.
And it makes all the people that were late to the series get a chance to get in as well.
True.
Plus, they're adding a better matchmaking system and dedicated servers, and it didn't have like a password system like it does in Dark Souls 3, so you can join your friends, not end up with randoms as well, and increasing the multiplayer.
Their multiplayer systems in all these games are convoluted as fuck anyway.
So I get the feeling that people can watch me die a lot when it comes May on twitch.tv/Explosion Network. Probably start it.
Good plug. Good job.
Good plug.
It's a great plug. It'll probably be like Bloodborne. I'll probably not even finish the first boss.
Yeah. Did you never get to the
I never went back. I was so excited to go back, and I never did.
Which boss was it? Was it the Cleric Beast or Father German?
No, the Beast.
On the bridge.
You know that boss is optional. You don't even have to fight him.
Look.
Well,
Well, I was trying to help him get... I was like, you just need to get to it so you can level up.
Yeah.
Because that game's so troll. That's one of my favorite things about that game. It's just like, we're going to beat your fucking ass to death, and if you want to even be able to do anything with these souls, you got to make it and then die. Like, what the fuck? That's terrible. I died like a billion times to that boss, but I beat Father Goosekeen or whatever, like first try.
Gascoigne, yeah.
Yeah, I look online, people are like, this boss is one of the hardest in the game. I'm like, I feel like every boss in this game, someone could write, this boss is the hardest in every game. It's just like, you'll struggle at certain ones. And
before they patched it, Breedus was a fucking nightmare.
Which one's that?
The big tentacly HP Lovecrafty looking one. She's an optional boss.
Yeah, I did them all, so
Yeah.
I just can't. Oh yeah, no, yeah, I know which one you think of.
Yeah, it
Yep.
shoots like a laser and you're like a
Yep.
like a
Yep. She was a bitch actually.
yeah.
Right, main story of the week. Well, I don't know. But the thing that excited me the most, or tingled me in places I liked, was there was a rumor floating around. Cyberpunk 2077 is apparently in a playable state of some sort. So goes the rumor.
What is sorry?
And Cyberpunk.
Oh, Cyberpunk, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently there's a playable demo or whatever, alpha version, beta, whatever the hell you're going to floating around. They've basically finished the engine, goes the rumor, which means that they're now just on the stages of like populating the world with, you know, the missions and blah, 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 blah. If this is all true, we'll presumably be getting a trailer at E3. Maybe before E3, you'd expect something like a Game Informer cover story or something like that to tease out details of the game. Drop into E3, get a trailer, and then I could see the game coming out 2019 if this is all true. But it's either 2019 or 2020. What does everyone think? Are we excited for Cyberpunk? Because I need that CG Project Red up in my business.
I think they got enough clout now to do a Bethesda and drop it in like 6 months after they.
Oh, that would be... I just want more people to do that. I want more people to do more Bethesda crap and just be like, boom. It's, you know...
And it's
on
on
that.
that. Been in development
Random
for
note.
quite a while.
I was listening to Podcast Beyond the other day, and they pointed out something I never actually realized, was that they actually did that with Resident Evil 7, kind of.
Yeah.
It was like here, and it was out like 4 or 5 months later or something like that. I was like, oh, I didn't actually realize they did that as well, but no one like gives them the clap for doing that, but they did. It was weird, I suppose. But they, when you think about it, it's like the entire time they'd been working on that game, like the amount of time we knew about the kitchen VR demo thing, which was at like cons for like 2 years. So if you think about the entire time they were like promoting this kitchen demo thing was them secretly promoting Resident Evil 7. And then they were like, ha, announced, kitchen demo was part of it. Here you go, it's out like 4 months later. Okay, good job. CJ Project Red could do the whole bomb drop thing, but they're also a developer who, if they said the game's coming out on this date, I would totally believe that they think it's going to come out on that date. And if they had to push it, I wouldn't be like, use just made up that first release date to get pre-orders. I'd be like, no, yous actually like need to push it because you like legit need to push it and you thought you could make that first date. Because a lot of the time it's like, you hear stories about the bigger companies. It's like, here's a release date, but they know for sure, 100%, they're never going to make that release date. They just want to put it out there into stores so they can start getting pre-orders for it. And then a couple months later, they just push it.
Yeah.
But I don't see CD Project Red would be a company that would do something like that.
Well, they have no reason to either. They don't answer to anyone.
They are a company with nothing but good respect
Yeah.
from old gamers. Like,
Especially
no one
with
hates
the no-clip stuff, that no-clip series that came out about them, which was fantastic and just made me love them even more. Which
I actually haven't watched it. It's on my list.
you
of things I
should.
need to watch.
You definitely need to go through and watch it.
Plus, with GOG 2, they're not hurting for money either. The second biggest online games distribution platform.
And is Gwent going to have microtransactions, right?
Yeah, it already does. You can buy like
Oh, it does. Yeah, it does.
you can buy powder or whatever it is to buy card kegs and stuff.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like Gwent. What do they call it? It's like not officially out, but they've said it's like it's basically
like
done.
beta.
They're just
It's
working on the
closed-
story
It's like
mode.
open beta.
Yeah, they're not going to have like a full launch. It'll just transition into 1.0.
Yeah. It'll just be
Yeah.
like you wake up one morning and it's just like, we've patched in the campaign
Yeah.
and the trophies and whatever, achievements and stuff
It's
like
like
that.
Friday
So,
the
here it is.
13th. It's out, but all the features aren't there to begin with.
Yeah. So, and that's a popular thing, Gwent as well, like, and that's just going to keep filling them with money as well. Like, I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like, I don't like the microtransactions in card games. I'm quite fine with, like Hearthstone and
Yeah.
Gwent and stuff like whatever else. I'm quite happy with that because we talked about loot boxes and stuff like that before. But that's fine. But that's just like a good game that they've got. I presume they had a bigger team working on, and they've probably tangent people off the
Yeah.
Gwent team, like especially once the story stuff's done and stuff like that, and they just keep the smaller team on to help keep it running and like patches and work on new sets and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Rotate them around to Cyberpunk, I suppose.
Got to have some kind of mini game in Cyberpunk.
I think they've got
game
two
for 'em.
studios anyway because they're working on
think
it
they
at the
do.
same time as they're working on The Witcher as well.
Yeah, but yeah, I always think about it's like when you with Naughty Dog when I was working on Uncharted, you just heard like I was all working and then they got to a certain stage and then they just like brought the team down to a lot smaller,
Yeah.
and then had everyone rotate around to like The Last of Us. So the same sort, I picture the same sort of scenario happened recently with like what was the Uncharted DLC thing called? That I haven't
Lost
played?
Legacy.
Lost Legacy.
Lost Legacy. I presume it was like a
You've
bigger
pretty
team.
much played it.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the whole fucking I watched you talk about the whole game and watched your Twitch stream to get footage from it. So yeah, I know what happens, but I haven't played it. I picture the same sort of thing. It's like there was a fairly sized team working on Lost Legacy. They got down to the final stages of that, and then it's like just all of the Lost Legacy team like rotates around to Last of Us 2, I suppose. That kind of that's kind of how they work. These developers, I suppose. What do we want out of Cyberpunk?
I have no idea.
I don't know what I
just
want,
more-
but I know that they'll deliver.
Yeah, that's a
Give-
fair answer,
I
really.
just want. It's one of them. It's one of the teams that I'm just like, you give to me what you think I want, because that is probably going to be perfect. Like Witcher, I still want to put more time into, and it's just another game that gets away from me. But the world of The Witcher is so rich, and so if you can do that again in this setting, do it. That's
I
Everyone
have-
read
like,
the Witcher books.
I've started them. There is so when I think about The Witcher, it's like perfectly creates this like fantasy world where and specifically how you can walk into a bar and you'll have like you're like like you got the music, blah blah, whatever else is happening. I love Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk's one of my favorite genres, and also I'm a big fan and listen to a lot of techno, blah 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 music. If I can't walk in to some futuristic nightclub scenario, something with fucking the best, because there's a lot of video games where you walk into, like, there's even like I remember in Mass Effect 2 or 3, like the club and that, and it had like cool music and lights were going everywhere, and I'm like, it's all right. And then you make Shepard dance and it ruins the whole scene for you because you're just like, you look like a fucking massive dog and you've ruined this whole fucking place for me now. Like, I can never come back. This is ruined. And I remember I got high hopes for like a cool Cyberpunk, like soundtrack plus like nightclub scene with that game Syndicate that got banned in Australia.
Yeah.
But I remember the trailer dropped with the Skrillex music and all that sort of stuff. And I was like, fuck yes. And I watched a YouTube video and I was like, it's not as good as the trailer.
It was banned because of the dubstep.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's quite how it works.
That reminds me of you'd go into these bars in Omicron, the Nomad Soul, and they'd have full-on Bowie concerts in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, virtual Bowie.
I would love for them to have, I just want cool nightclub / with like great, because one of my favorite games last year, Ruiner, partly because of its amazing use of music and soundtrack, because it nailed, like, part of Cyberpunk to me is soundtrack. Like, that's like a high percentage of it. Like, I can't escape. It's like one of the only genres where I'm like, if you don't get the music right, you're not doing the genre as good as I think you can be. So that's one of my things going is, do I think CD Projekt Red will have any problems with the world creation, the story, the characters, the mission structure? No, they're going to have no problems with any of that. They're all great at all that. I'm just like, you need to get what in my head is the definition of a great cyberpunk thing. Go watch Blade Runner or something like that.
Need Darude to do the soundtrack.
Who?
Maybe not.
Darude.
Oh, Sandstorm?
Yeah, just want Sandstorm everywhere.
So, I don't know, get Daft Punk to do the soundtrack. I don't care.
I'm 100% behind that.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
That's fine with me. But I'm just like, that is my one thing where it's just like such a random thing. I'm so not worried about the actual game part. I'm just like, the cyberpunk in the title. It's great. Just
I can't wait for everybody is on social media, on all media outlets, being like, "This is the best game ever created," and there's Dylan probably alone on Twitter. They didn't get the music right. They didn't do it.
if the music's terrible, it'll actually ruin the game for me.
Did you play Deus
telling
Ex?
No, I've never played any of them because I watched someone play a little bit of the PS3 one, not the first one, but the
Mankind
whatever one.
Divided.
And I was like, I don't like this character. And he seems like a dickhead. I don't want to play this game. It seems terrible. It was just like I've got it was just like that generic voice acting I was like, I don't care. I don't care. You seem terrible. Cyberpunk. Right. Final story for this week. And I left this one to last because it is possibly the most important news story, stats that have dropped in 2018. It happened. It's January 15th? 2018 so far, guys. I need you to grab on. Listeners, grab on to whatever's around you. Grab on. Just strap yourselves.
Hold on to your dicks.
in. No, seriously, grab into your dicks. Because today, I have Pornhub stats.
Literally. Oh, no.
Literally. Pornhub stats have dropped and said that 56% of all Pornhub consumption comes from people on PS4s. Yo, what are you doing?
I don't think that's. I think it's 50 odd percent of all console traffic, not all traffic.
Yes. Sorry, console traffic.
Yeah.
That's still that's 56%. But I just want.
I don't know why you would. It's so painful to use the web browser on PS4.
Well, let me give you the rest of the stats and see what you think about everything else that's happening right now. Because I read this and I was like, I don't know what's happening. Y'all got phones, y'all got laptops, y'all got PCs. I don't know. What are you doing? So 5% on Vita.
How?
That's a good screen. That's a good screen to.
Can you even watch videos in the browser on Vita?
Apparently, on that OLED screen, until you ruin it by jizzing on it.
Well, it's already a crack baby. It could take a bit of juice.
I just like the idea of someone just being like, I've seen a $50, that's their Vita. It's sitting on their cradle dock, charging next to their bed, and the sole use is it doesn't have any games on it or anything. It's just nothing but. There's just one little bubble sitting on that menu, internet browser, and everyone knows what's up.
I'd like to think that after, there could be a stat recorded that the percentage of Vita users using it rises after our podcast releases.
I fucking hope so. If you've got, in case you didn't know this, guys, girls, whoever's listening, your Vita, you may not use it for games anymore because you brought a Switch.
Make love to it.
You can use that shit for porn. You can.
And it's not immune to fluid damage either.
No. So just be careful where you're swinging that thing. Because it's a beautiful screen until it's stained with your semen.
Fuck.
Oh, God.
Ready for the rest of the stats? Ready? So here's the breakdown. PS4, 56%. Xbox in at second with 32%. Vita, 5%. Wii U, 5%. Now, here's my question with the Wii U one. Are they using their Wii U and watching the porn on their television screen? Or are they using the Wii U and watching it on the
on the tablet,
on the
gamepad?
tablet? Because that's an important question.
That would feel so wrong. It
feels wrong anyway because it feels like a cheap plastic toy.
It's a child's toy.
Yeah.
What if does some people, get a bit confused between the Wiimote and the rest of their freaking toolbox?
Next in at 1%, the Wii.
The bloody Wii. Wait, I wonder.
Yeah, I got one more.
I
got one more 1%. What do you think it is?
I know what it is. It's the 3DS.
Yeah, it's the 3DS.
How?
Yeah, no, that's what I thought as well.
On the screen? Oh, that's...
Why? In what sick world is that the only thing you've got that you can watch porn on? I feel sorry.
I want to know how you do it. Like, can you? I don't think you can even watch videos in the browser.
I mean, it probably takes 10 minutes to fucking load it, but...
Look, guys, just imagine this. There is somebody in the world whose first porn experience as a 10-year-old was on a 3DS.
It's fucking sad. It makes me sad. Like, I read 1%, and I'm like, that's... I don't know what the exact user base percentage numbers this works down to, but I was like, I feel so sad for the 1%ers that have to watch porn on their 3DS.
That's what the Wall Street sit-in was for, the 1%.
Yeah, that's what they actually mean. They mean the 3DS porn users. I just want you to know, like, I feel if you're listening, any of the actual 1%ers out there, I'm so sorry. I'm so and this also makes me question other things, this list. Yesterday, or the day before, my brother brought a Vita off Gumtree.
Why?
Why did he buy a Vita?
For remote play.
Why didn't you stop him, Dylan?
I tried, actually. I legit tried. Your money. But then the stats dropped the next day, and I was like, well, the Vitas are risen. Was my brother part of the stats?
Has he got it yet?
Yeah, he's got it. He got it yesterday.
And how's that working out for him? Has he
I don't know.
tried it
Do
yet?
you want me to ask him?
Sure. Go get him on the show.
Yeah, he fucking hates pictures. Imagine. Come be on my podcast and talk about your Vita porn habits. It'll be fine.
Just imagine, like, all the sex addict groups. They're just like, hi, I'm Ciaran and I'm a sex addict. When was the last
Hi,
time you
Ciaran.
Indulged? I watched it on my PS Vita. That's rock bottom right there.
That's more disgraceful.
And well, here's what I'm thinking. All these damn, like, games on the Vita where you're, like, shooting girls, and they're these anime games where you're shooting girls and their underwear comes off and all sorts of stuff. The people just, like... and then they, like, swipe that game down and open the internet browser, like...
You know full well that is exactly what happens.
It is. I not. It's the thing. It's like, we can joke about it, guys, but seriously, that's bad. Don't. Because I'm pretty sure the girls are shooting the fucking clothes off in those anime games. They ain't legal in Australia. Maybe legal in those games. What was that one where, like, the collector's edition came with, like, a pair of fucking panties?
Oh,
What?
yeah, that was Galgun?
Galgun. Yes,
Galgun?
Galgun. Didn't you? Don't you know this, Nick?
It came with the special edition, came with a screen cleaner for your Vita.
Yep.
That was in the shape of girls' underwear.
Wow.
No, it wasn't the shape of it. It was basically girls' underwear.
Disgraceful.
That's. I mean, it's something. It's like, this
is the world we
it's
live
not
in.
right. It's. I have many problems, but what can you do apart from fly to Japan and be like, hello, I have. All right, let's move into the last segment of the show, which we can tie in quite nicely. The thing. Hashtag every trophy counts.
Every trophy counts.
Go through some new lists real quick first, and things are the trophies. Number 1, fucked up trophy of the week, month, year. I don't know, but this just ties in. This ties in well to what we was just talking about. Fucked up, fucking weird shit. There's a trophy in this game called Little. The game's called Little Red Lie is the game. Don't care about the game. The trophy is called Grand Victory. Its description is as follows: falsify your way into being touched by a member of the opposite sex. Now that sounds like a whole bunch of like...
That sounds like real life.
In today's society, that's not good.
I mean, in yesterday's society, probably wasn't good. 100 years ago, still wasn't good. It was never good. However, if you mean like in today's society, how does that shit fly and actually get the green tick to become a trophy? I have no fucking idea. Like, Sony, are you listening?
It is a Japanese
No.
company.
No, I was like, no, that's just like, just call it like the rape trophy. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just like, what? Grand victory.
Did you almost
Falsify
implode
your
when
way
you saw
into
that?
be touched by a member of the opposite sex. I read it like 3 times over and was like, this can't be real. This
Did
has
you
to be
almost
joked.
explode? You almost exploded, didn't you? Like the SJW warrior
I was
came
like-
out, the Sony fanboy came out at the same time. You were like, I just can't.
If that did happen,
do
the
it.
SJW fucking warrior like punched the shit out of the Sony fanboy and was like,
What's the
"This
game
shit
called?"
This can't pass." Little Red Lie. It doesn't have platinum. In case anyone was wondering,
That's what it's driven. That's why Dylan is not going to play it.
I'm not going to play it because it's got a fucked up trophy that's like it's condoning like sexual assault or something. It's condoning fucked up shit. I don't even know. Like this is not okay at all. Like this passes a. If you're like, does Sony have a certification for trophies? And no, apparently not. This is not right. Remember that God of War trophy? Like beat the shit out of the, like I don't know, like that was like 10 years ago. This is yesterday or whenever. Like this is today. This shit should not pass.
It's by the guy that developed Actual Sunlight.
Well, you know what he needs to see? Some actual sunlight because real women out in the world don't like being tricked, or men, like this doesn't actually say gender. People don't like being tricked into... Okay.
I think there's more to it than what the trophy says.
Well, there could be more to it, but it's the fact that like the trophy description just reads as sexual
Maybe
assault.
it's trying to. It's probably worded inappropriately, but it's probably something story related in the game
Okay.
that might
No,
not
well,
be. that.
if the story is you date rape someone,
Dylan, maybe you need to play the game.
It's
and
not
find out
da-
and
it's,
report back
it's a
to-
game exploring modern poverty. There's even like I'm looking at a screenshot and it says, "Would you rather commit suicide than live in significant poverty? Yes or no?" So I think there's more to it than what the trophy is saying.
the trophy description is still fucked up.
Trophy
Doesn't matter.
description. You fucked up.
Change it. As far as I'm concerned, change the description. Next trophy list. The City of Final Fantasy NT, whatever the fuck that game's called, whatever it's called. There's a trophy, there's a gold for win 300 ranked games. I'm never platinuming that game. Just putting that out there right now. I want to play this game. I'm excited to play a bit of the City of Duodocum, whatever the fuck it's called. I'm not excited to play or win 300 ranked games. That would never happen. So you can get the fuck out of my town. Don't exist. There's another game called Pop-Up Pilgrims. Looks like an easy platinum, everyone. All the trophies just basically look like if there's a video guide, platinum. Because it's like a Lemmings game, and you have to find secrets and like get to the end without any of your dudes dying. But it's like if you have a walkthrough, they'll tell you exactly what to do, so none of your dudes die or whatever. It's just like, okay, that's all the trophies, I guess. That's easy platinum. And the last one, talking about like Sony. Does Sony have any bards on like quality control and stuff like that? No. And also, this isn't just calling out Sony because this game was on the fucking 3DS, which means it also Nintendo also has zero quality control. Look up a game called Little Adventure on the Prairie, and you will find what I consider one of the worst looking games I've seen in quite some time. It is absolutely atrocious. However, it has its piss easy trophy list that basically just says like finish the game. Finish the game, you get a platinum. The game looks like hot, fucking melting dog turd though. Like it's just like you watch a gameplay video and you're like, is this costs some money? Like you can like My Name's Mayo is a game, and like My Name's Mayo is an easy platinum that's like trying to be funny and it's like trying to be meta and whatever. It costs like $1 or $2. I mean everything works and looks alright. Like it's designed fine for what it's trying to do. This game looks like it's just not a game. Like it doesn't look finished at all. Like it looks absolutely fucking terrible. This is the kind of shit I expect to see on the Steam front page or something like that, where it's just like a Steam greenlight game that just passes because Steam's full of so much fucking hot garbage these days that it doesn't even matter. However, on my PlayStation, I would like not so much more. And I do worry every time I see games like this now because there appears to be more of them popping up. Just like shit on PlayStation. It's like, why? Just don't become Steam, Sony. Don't. Like, I like Steam for many factors. However, there's just shit on there. There's just shit. People just put shit. Same as the App Store on your iPhone or whatever. It's just like, apparently you can just fucking games.
Steam.
So that's an easy platinum, everyone. However, it looks like a hot piece of turd garbage. On the the Plat Run update. I got 0 platinums in last week. Ciaran, did you get any platinums?
I did indeed. I did the Order 1886.
And how'd that go? Because
It was story I really enjoyed. The collectibles were really fun. Some of the trophies slightly annoyed me, but they weren't hard. They were just stuff like, killing people while aiming for the hip with like the worst aiming from the hip system I've ever used
What
in a
did
game.
you think about the ones where you have to fight the werewolves? The fights. I found that was the worst part about the game.
I didn't mind it. There's a clip of me where I just get destroyed at one point because I'm like, I think every fight except for like the main 2 werewolf fights you do is pretty much in the same area. Like they're both exactly the same.
What I would
Basically,
do is
they
I'd get in the
reskin
back
areas.
corner and just fucking
Yeah, you
shoot
just
it.
get in the corner and just wait for them because all the werewolves would do is run to the same spot, turn around, and then run back at you.
Yep.
But
And
other
the
than that,
quick time event, there was one of them that really frustrated me.
you'll probably see it in upcoming video.
I think you had
There's
to punch a button quick. I hate the ones where you have to fucking tap it really fast.
There's some reason they changed the takedown mechanic for some. It seemed like halfway through the game. At the start, I don't know if I just was doing it without even thinking at the start, but you just had to tap triangle to do a silent takedown.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden it did this thing where it's like a closing circle and you had to wait for the circle to be perfectly around the triangle button to do it. And I kept pushing it like a second too late and fucking it up. And if you don't do them right, you die. Like you instantly die no matter what. I was like, okay, like literally there was me half asleep Saturday morning when I woke up late, having to redo one thing like 5 or 6 times because I was just like fucking up this one button press every time.
But overall, you was like, because this is a game, of course, that people have shat on for quite some time. Like, and it's like I brought the collector's edition. It was like,
Got that
okay.
medal.
I mean, I don't regret it. / I don't like completely regret it. But at the same time, it's a thing that I did with my money, and I finished the game in like one sitting, and I was like, okay, that was interesting. But over time, I was like, you know what? That game like had so many interesting aspects and cool characters, and just like the general world and the story it sets up, and especially the way the game ends. It's like I actually do want a sequel, like legit.
There's
Like,
so
not a
much.
joke, not like Knack 2 joke, like, give me Knack 2. It's like, legit, give me the sequel.
Me too, yeah. Set
I
2
even-
years
'cause-
previous.
I only paid $18 for the game.
Yeah, I got it cheap too.
And when I finished it, I said on stream, I said I would have paid $50 for that. I wouldn't have paid full price. I would have paid $50 though, because
Yeah, I agree with that.
the story for me was fantastic. The interesting thing for me is obviously they were banking it on it being a good game or it being deserving of a sequel, because there is stuff legit set up in that game for the purpose of a sequel. Like that random dude that shows up twice throughout the game, and he's like, I'll call on him eventually. And I was like, okay, cool, this will happen before the end of the game. Nope, he's... Okay, no, that's the next game. Okay, fair enough. And then you become Batman.
Yep, basically.
Yeah, but I had a lot of fun
That was
with
my
it.
favorite thing. Kieran messages me after he finished it or whatever, and he's like, message says like, I don't know, he's just like, oh my god, I was like, I want to talk about the game. It's like the ending, and I was like, yeah, become Batman. And then Kieran's response was like, oh fuck, you do.
You do become Batman. And the thing, there was a couple of things that annoyed me with the game. I didn't like... So Assassin's Creed 2 did this amazing thing with Da Vinci that was really cool, because they made a big thing out of it. He was a big character. Nikola freaking Tesla's in this game, and he's just kind of there. Like, they don't make a big entrance or a big reveal out of, Nikola's the one helping you. It's just kind of, it starts walking and stuff, and then all of a sudden you're talking to him about Edison. It's like, wait, that's Tesla? Like,
Edison
what?
was a cunt.
Pardon?
Edison was a cunt.
Edison was a cunt.
I think they tried to purposely play like Assassin's Creed's like, hey, it's Leonardo da Vinci, like everyone knows him and loves him, like that guy, like here he is, he's in our game, like you're friends with him. This time they're just like, well, realistically, if Tesla, like in the real world of this game, he's not a big deal. It's just like it's Nikola Tesla, like he's a scientist.
But I wish they'd done
it's
something
fine.
that was like a bit more of a nod to the audience for it. Like,
pause screen, Borderlands entrance comes up with
No.
character name,
that would have been awesome.
slams on screen like stats.
Catch a rat! No. But even if it was just like a he looked up from the desk in a cutscene or something. But no, like he was like his initial scene in the game. He's like almost like a servant where he's like standing quietly to one side, waiting for you to finish talking, and then he's like, "Yeah, just this way," and you're like, "Oh, okay. Oh, wait, shit, that's Tesla, right?"
You know what? Oddly, that game reminds me a lot of when I was playing it. It reminded me of Star Wars prequels because there was so much talk about like trade route, like
The
stuff
India
like
company.
that. The Indian company stuff like that. Yeah.
Somehow, it's not spoilers. It would have been spoilers for me if you'd said this before last week. I didn't know there was vampires in this game. Like, I'd only ever heard talk of the werewolves somehow. And so when the vampire shit happened, I was like...
Well, I mean, I think that is it. Like, that wasn't a known...
Oh, okay. I just ruined it.
That wasn't a known thing going into it.
Yeah.
So that's probably why I didn't tell you, because that's a
Yeah,
spoiler.
but I'm glad. Maybe spoilers if you haven't played the order.
Plot twist: that vampire game is set in the same universe.
Can you indulge me for a second? It's not exactly a plat topic or a trophy topic.
I'm fine with it.
Can we have a 2-minute spoiler talk about Life is Strange Before the Storm episode 3?
Yes.
We can. I was going to do it as soon as I'm wrapping up the show. I was going to do a quick one.
We're doing
cut
it.
this
now.
bit out then. Cut this bit out, like all of it.
No, I'll just leave it. It's fine. It's fine.
No,
it's
cut it
I'll
out.
show. If I'm going to cut
it
out
out.
anything, it'll be me inserting my voice going, spoilers here, right before you start talking about fucking vampires. If you don't listen to we're gonna. If you don't listen to us talk about the ending of Life is Strange Before the Storm, thank you for joining us today, tomorrow, whatever.
Before you
day
go,
joined us.
I'm on track to hitting my plat record this year too.
Yeah, I know. He's on. He's somehow when you set your record on 0, you hit it like literally a second later. It's fucking fantastic.
Not really. I could play a Telltale game and just fucking immediately go over that.
Yeah. Oh, overachiever over here. Wait, if you set your goal at 0 and you get 1, don't you just like fail? Like
Yeah,
when you
I
have to
think
get
so.
-1 to be an overachiever.
I'm not allowed to play a Telltale game on PlayStation ever again.
Yeah. Let's do. All right. So if people want to follow you, where can they follow you, Ciaran?
At your boy Ringo, or catch me on twitch.tv/Explosion Network.
Where do people follow you, Nicholas?
At Sir Galahad.
You can follow me on Twitter at Vivaladil, Vivaladil. You can follow the show at Explosion Pod. You can go to www.explosionnetwork.com to find all the things. You can go to Twitch. You can go to the thing. Don't forget to give an iTunes review, stuff like that. Mail, platinum at explosionnetwork.com. I already have some Michael questions waiting to go over that I'll get to quite soon. I just wasn't trying to force them into every show. I'll space them out, Michael. Fuck. Yes,
Dylan,
Kim, you're looking...
did I see a Platinum Explosion Twitter page?
Yes. You can follow the official. I actually forgot. I was like, I just closed my laptop, and I'm sure I guarantee in my show notes I had like plugged the Twitter, and I closed it. I was like, I'm done. Yeah, you follow Platinum now has its own Twitter. It's Plat Podcast at Plat Podcast. So you can follow that. I'm gonna start using that more. I'll like tweet out before we're recording, like send us questions, tweet out more stuff like that. We'll do stuff like that. It's a thing. It's a thing that exists.
It's a thing.
It's a thing that exists that I forgot exists because I did
Gotcha,
it like
I
2
gotcha.
a.m. in the fucking morning. Go subscribe or follow, whatever you do. I don't know. If you're not hanging around for Life is Strange, bye.
Bye.
Later.
Spoilers. Life is Strange Before Storm. Did you like the ending or not, Ciaran?
Holy crap and shit, yes I did. But then I was feeling all warm and fuzzy inside, and I felt great about the world. And then they showed me the after credits section, and I'm like, I hate you, game.
I
You
felt that
fucking
was
suck.
highly
First off, I
unnecessary.
want to ask, did you lie or tell her the truth?
I lied.
So did I. Dylan told her the truth.
Yeah, I told
Wow.
her that her dad's fucked up, yeah.
Yeah, I lied because I was like, no, I can't. Do
Because
that.
actually, I'll give this game. See, people's biggest complaints are like the story just kind of at the last second's like, nah, fuck everything, fuck the fire, like that's. But then I was like, well, then the story of this game was never about the fucking
The fire was metaphorical.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
the
like
fire
it,
was
it,
a
it doesn't
symbol.
fucking like it doesn't matter. Like that wasn't actually a plot line. It's just like her anger, whatever. So fuck all that shit. it does take a weird turn in the last second to be like, okay, we'll introduce. It didn't go where I thought it was going, but it was fine.
Where do you think it was going? Because I
I had
didn't
no
think it did
idea.
that.
I thought they might try and run away. Something would happen. Like
I knew
along
they
the
wouldn't be
road.
able to get away.
No, well, they're not going to. We know they don't, but I thought they might try and get stopped or something in the drug
Yeah.
dealer or something. I mean, the drug dealer becomes part of it, but not in the way that. Like, I
You
didn't
thought?
see the actual mum.
You
like,
didn't
that
think he
video.
was going to fucking stab Rachel? Like,
No.
holy shit.
Yeah, I know.
She's
But-
a little bitch. She only got stabbed in the arm.
I hated this is the reason I love this game so much, and I'm kind of biased at the moment. Both my computer screens have Life is Strange wallpapers on them because
That's really
I
cool.
changed them after I finished Before the Storm. I was like, I'm so in love with Life is Strange again. Like I was a huge fan of the first game, but it's like, you know, it was a while ago. Whatever, finished Before the Storm. I'm like, fuck, I love these games. Like, changing my wallpapers. Life is Strange. I hated Rachel in the first episode, and I looked through my character choices, and it was like the first chance you got to like try and say you was interested in her like romantically or whatever. I was like, no, I don't even like you. Like you're a bitch. Like fuck you. I don't want to be. I'm not interested in you at all. But then it's like such high risk, so high plus to the game in that by the time it gets around to episode 2, I'm like, I'm kind of liking you more. And then by like comes around, like I grew more attached to her like you would like a real.
Yeah,
Like a real
human
relationship.
being,
Like it wasn't
a
like
real-
from the get go. I'm like, oh, I love the. I was like, I don't like you. And then like over time, I was like, I don't like you. But no, I love their relationship by the end of it. In no world where those two are actually in love would the decision be made to keep that information from her as far as I'm concerned. Like if that was me and I was in love with Rachel. Like, because that's the shoes you kind of have to put yourself in for that last decision. And I think that last decision is really cool because it, as Nick pointed out to me, and I didn't actually realize until he said it, was it's the only decision in the whole episode. There's one decision and it matters. Like, it's not like a whole bunch of small ones before. It's just like one decision and it's a huge decision. And it's the kind of decision where you sit there at your controller going, oh, fuck, what am I doing? And then, yeah, I was like, well, if this was me and I was in love with Rachel, I wouldn't be able to live with myself keeping this information. So I had to tell her the truth.
I think keeping that information for me is what I saw forged her into becoming the character she becomes.
I see her becoming the character she becomes when we meet her simply because Rachel goes missing. And she's always going to go missing. Like, that's the thing about that decision. It's like, either way, you know she goes missing. Like, eventually.
You know what's crazy for me? I don't know how I need to know. There's a filler story I now need to know because of a small choice I made in the game. Because I don't know if you did, but I gave Rachel's mum the bracelet.
I can't remember if I did.
I don't
So
remember that.
I gave Rachel's mum the bracelet. So for me now, how does Rachel's bracelet gets in the hands of Frank?
Oh, yeah.
Well, Frank and
in the
Rachel's
first
mum
game.
were associates. Like,
They're associates, but I need to. Yeah, there's just something I need filling in there that I'm like.
I saw one of the complaints about it is like, okay, they seem so happy at the end of it. How does Rachel still end up, like with the drug dealer? And
Frank, yeah.
And I'm like, I never saw at any point her not like suddenly having a life-changing moment throughout all this where she's like, I would never touch drugs or do any rebellious activity ever again. Like, I didn't see that being the ending. It's like there's still these two rebel girls like running around or whatever, and I can see them ending up back, you know, whatever, trying to get fucking weed or some shit, and they end up in that world and shit goes wrong. Like, it's not a huge. I don't need to stretch the story to find out how she ends
and
up there.
Even though it wasn't mentioned, there were subtle like nods towards Frank being attracted to Rachel. With the way
with what he does basically.
Yeah, he's I got mad respect for Frank by the end of that episode. I was like, man, what a guy.
Yeah,
Did it make you feel any different about David as a character?
It was hard for me
Knowing
because
what he
I
does?
started off the episode being like, "Oh, Rachel, I liked you at the end of Life is Strange." Not Rachel,
David.
David. I
David.
liked you at the end of Life is Strange. And then all of a sudden I was hating him again. I was like, God
Yeah.
damn it, you fucking douchebag. Like, stop.
I
Really
I
puts you in the
hated him.
shoes of Chloe.
Yeah, does it
I
really
hated
well.
him at the start of Life is Strange originally, and the reason I hated him so much is because for the first few episodes I thought he had a high chance of being like the guy, like the killer or whatever. So I was like so against him, and then by episode 4 or whatever, it's like, you're like, it's not him. Okay, and he's like, okay, David's all right, I guess, and you come around to liking him. But then back in this game again, you're playing as a rebel teen girl,
Yeah.
and you've got the fucking uptight military stepdad, and it's hard not to fall straight into the, of course this dynamic is going to work, and you're playing as the character, and you're just like, the fuck you, man, like, like, which, yeah, I don't know.
I got something to ask.
fine.
You know, at the end scene where you talk to Rachel's mother, Ciaran,
Yep.
did that seem like a dream to you? Because for me, it felt like a dream sequence.
It felt like a dream to start off for me as well.
It felt a bit dreamy.
Because
a bit
there was
too-
all this shit going on, and then all that, and then suddenly you wake up and it's all calm. She's just sitting there at the table.
Yeah, and it's a bit
It was jarring for
interesting.
me.
It's interesting to know.
Because she's like,
How-
or whatever. She likes just says information that you don't think she has.
Yeah.
How do we know it's not a dream? It very well
We
could
don't-
be. That
it's not
would
the- it's not
also
the kind of
explain the
game where it's a
bracelet
dream.
thing.
No, I don't think they would in that. I think there's too much dreams with the dad stuff that maybe. I don't know. The thing for me, though, in that, how much was Sarah under the influence of the drugs that were in her system from
Yeah.
the guy fucking overdosing her?
A lot.
Yeah, a lot. The other thing for me was the twisting, turning relationship that I had with Rachel's dad.
Yeah.
Because I started off the episode being like, dude, you're a douchebag.
Yeah.
You're an actual scum. And then by like after the conversation after Rachel gets stabbed, I was like, wow, okay, he's a
good dude.
good dude. And then we go and we find out everything he's been doing, and then I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
With
But-
with the encounter with rapey fucking friends or
There is
whatever.
that Elliot. I was right about him the entire fucking time. Mr. I was created in a Fallout 3 character generator. Creepy as fuck.
Tunnel
Creepy
snakes.
as all fuck.
To wrap up, what was everyone's thoughts on it? Because I know it was in my top 10 games of the year list, but I know if you look, depending on who I follow on Twitter and stuff, it's been like people being like, oh, they really love it, like I do, and I really love it. And then there's like in the middle, it's like, yeah, it's fine. Like it was a 3-episode more Life is Strange to time me over to the season 2, and then there's other people who are like, no, it was terrible. It was shit. So
I was of the opinion when it was first announced, I do not need this at all. Why are they doing
So was I.
this?
Yeah.
And then after playing it, I realised how wrong I was.
Yep.
One thing, I'm glad they did it with episode 3, but the whole season could have done with less of that stupid fucking backchat mechanic.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
liked
need that. I was quite happy to
I
just
didn't need
have,
it. But
yeah.
and I
liked
barely
it.
did it when there was options to do it. I just got around it because I'm
Yeah.
like,
I
I
think-
don't need this.
I think it was their thing like, oh, we got to put a gimmick in because we
Yeah, we got to
do
put
the
a
time
gimmick because the
travel.
first game had the fucking gimmick. But it's like you
Yeah.
didn't need the gimmick. Like it was fine just to be a adventure game with choices of what
Yeah.
you say.
I only
all
remember
needed.
it only being once in the 3rd episode when you're talking to rapey guy
Like
and the
the
police.
collectible stuff was fine.
Yeah.
Like the tagging made sense for the character and stuff.
I don't
like that. That
know.
was fine.
I don't know how she ever expected to get out of the office undetected, even if rape guy didn't come there, because I'm there fucking tagging his fucking office and
yeah. Yeah. Kieran, what was your
I've played some pretty like emotion-filled games in the last 6 months, with like What Remains of Edith Finch and stuff, and Life is Strange. For me, I haven't had such a heart-sinking moment as that moment with seeing the phone being rang. In
that
that
destroyed me.
that heart-sinking moment of that, it's just that rush back to reality of, oh fuck, this is where we're going.
Yeah. You think
Fuck.
you realise this isn't a happy ending, and it makes it more impactful because you actually have an idea of who Rachel was now.
Yeah.
As opposed
Yeah.
to
It-
just
It
secondary
also
sources.
makes you want to go play the first season again,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is why I've re-brought it on PS3, and I'm going to start it soon. Because you're like, fuck, I need to... I'm so looking forward to replaying the first season now with like the information about certain characters I've got from this, and just seeing how different I will like react. Because I'm not going to try and play it exactly the same. I'll just treat it like a fresh thing. And I reckon I will make like different decisions simply because of character interactions and stuff from the before the storm. So no, I really loved it. However, I'm a sucker for these types of stories. So I never cried. What are you talking about? All right.
so heart-wrenching.
If you've hung around to listen to this section, and thank you. We're not going to plug everything again because we just did that. I will tell you how to have a lovely afternoon, morning, nighttime. Drink a cup of water. It's good for you. Plat plat.
Hey, it's Ashley here to let you know what you can expect from the Explosion Network in January. Feeling nostalgic for 2017 already? Then you should check out the Explosion Network's Best of 2017 Top 10 lists over at explosionnetwork.com. We'll let you know the best games, movies, TV, and more from last year. Got some disposable income that's burning a hole in your pocket? Then why not spend it on some sweet Explosion Network merch? Head over to designbyhumans.com/shop/Explosion Network. Pick up a shirt, or a mug, or a hoodie, or even a sticker. They're all things that you can buy on the shop and they mail out to you. It's crazy. Of course, our weekly shows continue. Pleasure Explosion Mondays, Platinum Explosion Tuesdays, and Grandstand Gurus Thursdays, each at 12 PM Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Catch our live streams on twitch.tv/Explosion Network and keep your targets locked on explosionnetwork.com for all our explosive content. Plat plat. Sound effects. I don't know how to end this ad read. Good luck editing this, Dylan.
You can find me at Lord Empire.